Good Sunday morning. My wife is playing with her new little miniature waffle maker that she got at Costco the other day. So I guess we're gonna have some waffles and stuff. So I'm out here just walking around. It's like 41 degrees. Actually feels pretty good today. The sun is shining. My poor Pittsburgh Steelers had a bad night last night, as I knew they would. They've lost their last 4 games. I figured at the start of the season we were going to end up falling to Baltimore this year. It looked at the start of the year like maybe that wasn't going to happen, but of course we decided to lose it at the end of the year. Who knows what's going to happen now. But you know, I was laying there last night in bed thinking how different my life is, you know, from what it used to be. I am laying there holding my wife's hand, you know, a cat curled up at my feet, another big fluffy cat that wants to like cuddle with us, hanging out there. Then our other cat comes and jumps on my ribs and is laying on me. Yeah, like 15 years ago, certainly not the life I thought that I would be living today. You know, it was always like me alone with my toys and my guns and guitars and shit, you know, and my job and doing my writing, working on my screenwriting and things like that. And what a difference, you know. That's nice, an interesting feeling how sometimes, you know, meeting somebody, getting involved in a situation, totally change your life from what you thought it was going to be, in a very good way. Obviously, for some people it happens in a bad way, but for me it worked out great. So, yeah, I was talking to my wife this morning. She's like trying to brush our cats, and the one little girl, she's the sweetest thing ever. We call her the nurse. Anytime one of the other cats or someone is crying and upset, here she comes to try and lick their head and soothe them, you know. Or if my wife pretends like she's crying or something, yeah, she comes running over, you know, and starts nuzzling her. But at the same time, she's probably our most stubborn cat, you know. She really kind of like does things her own way. If you're brushing the other cats or whatever, she loves being brushed. So she just comes in and pushes them out of the way, you know. But that's what I told my wife. It's a good thing that she's stubborn and sweet instead of stubborn and evil. But that got me thinking about women too, you know. It's like I told her I should make a video about, is your Filipina stubborn and sweet or stubborn and evil? Because a lot of people, they like to talk about how stubborn Filipinas are and stuff like that, you know. And sometimes it's okay if you got one that's really sweet and is looking out for your best interest. Though a lot of guys have a problem with that no matter what, you know. Had a comment on my one video the other day where I was talking about, you know, the difference between being married and single. And when you're married, you know, you have a partner, you know, and there was kind of a follow-up to the video I did talking about how sometimes our wives are better equipped to get things done in the Philippines than we are, you know. And there were some comments from people, you know, basically indicated that, you know, screw that, they're in charge, you know. And then this one other guy told me that, yeah, you know, being married and single are 2 different things, but living in the Philippines and living in America are 2 different things, and that the Bible says the husband is the head of the house, you know. But he was actually kind of proving my point, because like he said, it's different living in the Philippines and living in America. So that's all the more reason to think, though, maybe your wife, who was born and raised there and knows everybody in the whole damn neighborhood, might have something useful to offer when it's time to get shit done, you know, instead of just saying, the Bible said I'm the head of the house. But a lot of guys are like that, you know. I was raised around a religion like that, you know, really big on the man being in charge of shit, and the woman being submissive and supportive, and just ultimately whatever the husband decides, follow his lead, even if he's wrong, making a mistake. Sure, you should give your counsel and everything, but ultimately it's the man's decision. And really a smart man, though, he's going to recognize, hopefully he married a woman who's got a brain, and he can recognize her talents and abilities, and recognize that sometimes she knows more than he does about stuff, and be capable of taking her advice, and not just carrying on and making a stupid decision because his first impulse was to do it a different way. That's a whole part of the maturing process in life, though, too, But a lot of guys, their egos can't take that. Their egos insist that they are always the one in charge, and that's the way it's always going to be on everything. Obviously, I'm not saying that the man should just do whatever the wife wants and let her handle everything or whatever. But if there are things that she knows how to handle better than you, it's not an insult to your manliness to say, well, gee, I think I'll let my wife take the lead on this. It's just like being the head of a corporation or something, or a company. You might be the one in charge. You might be the head of that company or whatever, but that doesn't mean that you need to make every single decision. And you might be the one with the final say. Okay, we're gonna do it this way or that way, but it might be that the way you decide to do it is because so and so said, well, sir, here's the way I think we should do it, and here's why, and you realize that he knows what he's talking about. Same thing with our wives. But on the other hand, I personally, I'm not one of those people who has this egotistical need to constantly be in charge all the time, I'm more interested in enjoying life and being happy than in worrying about I'm the one in charge and making sure that people understand that. A lot of times people who are walking around feeling like they're in charge, they're really not. Everybody knows they're not, and what's more, everybody else doesn't really care. But it's important to some guys' egos, really, really important. And you see with a lot of these videos that over the past few years the guys have made, talking about how horrible Western women are, and how they're all just fat, combative, ugly, lesbians who just want to do things their way. I don't know, these guys, I don't know, apparently they live in a different place than I do, because for every couple of people I know like that, I know dozens of others that are really nice people, so I don't know. But they want to go to the Philippines because they think, okay, over here, I can find somebody who respects me and lets me take the lead and be in charge. It doesn't matter if I'm old, if I don't have any money, and I don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about, because I'm a fish out of water, stranger in a strange land with no clue what is going on around me, but still I want to be the one in charge, that's like a military unit having some new commander come in that's never operated in that area of operations before, and says, okay, well, back where I used to do things, where I came from, we always did it this way, and then they got all their local guys who've been there operating in that theater for a while. The NCOs are like, well, sir, here we do things a different way, and maybe your way doesn't work, and it's going to get a bunch of us killed. It's that way with anything. Hopefully, a bad decision in the Philippines won't get you killed, but you can never tell. You hear about guys getting killed because they make bad decisions. So, usually it's not that extreme, but it comes time to figure out where to go to get shopping done, or where's the best place to buy this or that kind of supply, or even, advice if you're building a house. A lot of guys, they want to feel like I'm the one doing this, and so we're going to do it my way. And unfortunately, they don't know enough about what's going on in that area to make an intelligent decision. And they expect the wife to quietly sit back and not say anything and just let them screw it all up. And then by the time you get done doing it the wrong way, all the money's gone. You've pissed off half the people that live in the community, and you never have the chance to do it again. Because a lot of times with some of these projects, you only get one shot, unless you happen to be magnificently wealthy and you can afford to just screw up a few times before you get it right. So anyways, that's just my random Sunday morning thoughts while I'm waiting for some waffles. Maybe see some football today. Find out if my Steelers can maintain the number 5 seed in the AFC or if they're going to fall to 7 and have to go play the Ravens again next week and get their throats slit. Hopefully not.